northwest walls of the city breweries. You're with
Duck is carrying Mariana.
Yep.
Mariana.
During the trip, would there have been anything that anyone needed to talk to Takumi about?
Did we take a long rest?
Yeah, this was
like 3 days.
3-day travel. So I'm assuming you rested in between traveling, in between days of travel. So there were times where you would have stopped to camp and all that.
Well, nothing specific. I do know that Niklas called Takumi and Mercalli over and mentioned that Jorah had spoken to Ragnar prior to leaving, saying that all are entangled in its web or something to that effect, which is essentially the motto of the spider's web. And Niklas shared his thoughts on that with Takumi and Mercalli in confidence about how he's not sure that Ragnar would betray them, but he's not 100% sure that he wouldn't. His primary thought is that Ragnar is on the run just as Jorah was. Or is.
Okay.
So I don't know if you wanted to touch up on that or not.
Well, if during the 3 days the party wanted to ask Ragnar about it, Ragnar is completely confused and has never heard of the spider silken web. I'm absolutely dumb. I wonder if he was threatening me just because I looked like a thief.
Okay.
Maybe worried I was entrenching on his territory. But if we did a long rest, I'd like to slide into one of the side voice channels if that's possible.
Yeah, we can do that real quick. With Takumi?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. We'll be right back.
Secret.
Considering I've started recording these so that we can all take better notes, and also just for the hell of it, I'm wondering if I should try and hey, I don't know if you guys want this broadcasted and everyone have to metagame not knowing things, but since it's for note-taking more than anything.
Yeah, I think it's good to have them and go back and look at them over again.
Right. I just don't know how people want to do side plot sequence things.
Oh yeah.
Because then
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Maybe after like a week or two, you can approach them and be like, "Hey, what was in that side plot?" and just put it in the side, maybe.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah. I'm gonna try and come up with something for the 3-day trip to Breweries in a journal entry.
This is some side plot. They're conspiring against us.
Steal our stuff.
Yes, all of Duck's things. All of his material goods.
Every single material good.
He has a cool knife. And I guess he has some money.
Pretty cool.
So actually, while they're having their side plot, I believe that whilst on their trip to Birdies, Niklas will actually probably approach Jack and simply inquires to why is he on this journey? Why is he adventuring of sorts?
Jack went to the town to find magical books to aid in his research, but he didn't find any. So he just went with you guys because you guys were cool.
What kind of research do you do, pray tell? I know nary a thing about you, my friend.
A professor in the city of Cinderhold. It's about magical artifacts. We should stop by the college if we ever find ourselves there.
Professor? Well, far be it from me to make assumptions, but you don't look the academic type.
Looks can be deceiving.
Niklas will actually smile sadly and just kind of nod his head. I know that all too well. But anyway, ancient relics, you say? Powerful, I would assume, yes?
You cut out a bit there.
I would assume they are powerful, yes?
The middle of your sentence cut out. I didn't catch that.
Sorry. I would assume
That's a bit shaky.
I would assume they're powerful. These relics that you research.
Okay.
They're back.
So with that out of the way, it is about, I think I said it was midday. It is now the 5th day of the first year, or not the first year, the first month of the year 2077. As you all are heading down the road following the west side of the river, you come upon the site of Brurides. Now, for some of you, it's a very, very, very large city. You haven't seen something so big before. That would be Duck. You really haven't seen cities this large unless you've traveled to other places. But for others, you can tell it's a decently sized city. It's nothing crazy in this world.
How did most of us get to Brewery, not through Brurides?
You may have gone through Brurides. You could have gone from the east and traveled one of the less traveled roads.
Okay. I was just
From
wondering.
People's
I
Retreat or other places, yeah.
I knew that I came through Brurides, so I was wondering what it was. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Niklas would have made no secret that he just kind of bummed a ride from the east. He walked most of the time, but when he could, he would bum a ride.
Okay.
Yeah, Duck just walked.
Yeah.
What season is it, by the way?
What season is it?
Yeah.
It's winter.
Winter. Okay.
It's winter. Winter started, I believe I have it written down. Which did about a month ago.
Alright, awesome. Thank you.
But you are pretty far south, so it's pretty warm. It's back as you're traveling away from the mountains, you notice it does get a bit warmer and a bit more humid as the valley around Brewery kind of protected the little area from some of the other weathers that the Sutherlands experience. But everyone's coming down this road. Duck is carrying Mariana. Everyone else is traveling. I don't think you guys bought a cart or got horses or anything. You just traveled by foot. Do you head straight to the follow the road straight to the gate? Do you go through the northern docks? What are you gonna do?
So, after the last night we would have spent as we were kind of approaching, Ragnar would have used his proficiency in disguise kit and his magical armor to change his appearance to a not shifty looking thief who may not be entered or granted entrance into the city. So he changes his armor to look like a monk's robes. He wraps some cloth around his hands, and he's currently a red-headed high elf.
Okay. All right.
Seeing that.
Well,
Niklas
as
would
you
kinda
approach
laugh at
the
it.
city gates, you can see a few people hustling about with carts, leaving the gates, heading towards some of the farms, and heading towards the northern docks. You don't see too many guards guarding the gates. There's just two, one in front of around each tower, on each side of the gates themselves. But as you approach, no one seems to stop you or anything. Niklas, could you make a Niklas, could you make a perception check for me?
Absolutely.
Okay. But the gate seems like a normal city gate. Nothing much fancy about it. No one stops you as you enter. As you enter the city proper, you've come into the uptown district. There's a lot of nice-looking houses around the roads. A lot of people walking around. Some people shuffling with carts. Others walking with seemingly significant others and such. How would you like to proceed?
Right, yeah, first things first. I think it's Cape Town. Yeah. Would anyone want to go cape shopping with me?
Oh, Cape Time. I thought you said Cape Town. My sincerest apologies.
No.
I was confused.
I'll go
Like,
cape
I
shopping.
thought this was Viridi's. Cape Town is far, far, far from here.
Yep, I'm also interested in a cape.
It depends on what you're looking for, truthfully, Doc. Do you want a cape that is far more rugged and able to, let's say, stand up to the trials of combat, or would you like something more elegant, like such as what I wear?
Yes.
In that case, we must find the finest human tailor we can.
We're off to find a cape.
All right. How do you look for it? Like, what are you gonna do?
We also have Mariana, who
You
you
do
know
have
is
Mariana.
supposed to be bringing.
Right, yeah, you come
yeah.
up there.
She looks at you and says, "Well, I'm not really in need of a cape. I still need to go see my father. He'd be on the other side of the river, by the main."
Alright, hold on to it. We'll get you there right after cape shopping.
All right. I can walk by myself now. You don't have to carry me.
Nonsense.
Mariana, I'll escort you to the main. I wish to know this town a bit better.
All right. Well, we can take the northern bridge. It's closer.
Here, take this. And I hand him Mariana.
Take this. I thought you were gonna hand him something.
Niklas will help Mariana off with the duck.
All right. Well, you will begin heading towards. Are you going to carry her, or are you going to follow her and have her lead the way?
I'm simply going to walk astride her.
Okay. Well, she begins walking towards this northern bridge here, heading over to the other side of the city, the old town side of the city, towards the main. As for the rest of you, how are you going about cape shopping?
If no one offers any idea, Duck is just gonna wander around in search of a cape, aimlessly.
As he walks away, Niklas will holler back, "Accept nothing less than 1,000 thread. Trust me."
No one's gonna ask civilians or anything like that?
Nope.
Let's go on an adventure.
You're just gonna wander? Alright, roll me a d20 for wandering. I make it a wisdom check.
I love the idea of just this, like, huge group of people, like, literally huge, just standing in the middle of a market square going, where do cape?
Are we following Jack or are we following Duck?
I'm following Mercalli.
Duck is following Duck.
We're all following ourselves.
Okay, everyone just starts walking in different directions. Just like, bye, nice knowing you guys. Who's leading? Who's leading this group?
Gotcha. I'm following Mercalli.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
It sounds like Mercalli's leading. Mercalli, you look around and you see that a few people are carting what looks like goods off to the east and then bending around the park down towards the south. You're thinking that maybe that's where a market might be if they're carting these goods in that direction.
That's great. Well, then we'll just follow them along.
Okay. As you start heading down the road, you see a bit of a change in scenery. Coming around the bend of the forest here, you look upon buildings which suddenly turn from the typical wooden, human-looking buildings to much more stone-based and alien to most of you, since none of you are dwarves. Dwarvish for most of you buildings. You see a lot of dwarves bustling about, working around. You see a few stands, a few stalls, people crying out, "Come shop here! Aye, come shop here!" And other things over there. And you see that the cart is still heading towards the south road.
Yeah, we'll just continue following the cart. Dwarves clearly aren't going to have any cape.
Any capes that would fit.
That's right.
But
We could use them as bibs.
that's bibs. As you continue to head south, you come into another area that seems very, very nice. The houses on your left as you're heading south, so these ones over here, seem to be just around as nice as the houses that were in the uptown area. To your right, you see a large, spired, what you assume is a church, surrounded by neatly planted and placed trees. And in front, off in the distance, you see the cart being hauled over towards what seems like a very large marketplace. There's stalls everywhere. There's people crying out, sales and all these other things. And it seems as though this is where most of the trade is done, at least in this part of town.
Well, I think that we've probably found a likely area where we can find.
Duck is like dumbfounded. He doesn't know where to go.
Ragnar will motion to the big, massive church and just be like, tax breaks, man. Like, look at.
So I guess we just sort of walk about the market, and I guess we'll just approach a vendor and just ask, you know, where could we find a clothier?
Okay. Do you approach any specific vendor, or just the first one you see?
I guess just the first one that we see in the northern part of the district.
So, the first stall that doesn't seem to have much of a line, it's an older woman. She seems to be selling fruits, among other things, from one of her stand, and she calls it out, "Come buy your fruits here. Fruits, a few vegetables from the farms right outside town. Fresh fruits and vegetables." You approach her?
Yeah, yep.
Hi, dearie. Are you looking for some fruits and vegetables?
Not at the moment. We just arrived, but we will probably need some at some point. But we are actually looking for a clothier or a tailor.
Oh, a tailor? Well, I know of a few around here. There's an expensive one further down south. That's the Craftsman's Hold. He does some more of the expensive clothing. There is a cheaper one on the other side of town. He's pretty good. It's where I buy my clothing, down towards the downtown farthing. And there's another man. Oh, what was his name? Alicor, that was. He's got a stall on the other side of the market, towards the east.
So I guess you would recommend your tailor then, or?
Well, yes, of course. I'm always trying to give Carol some business.
All right. Well, thank you. That was very helpful. Here, please take a silver piece for the advice.
A silver? Here, no. Take one of these. And she gratefully accepts a silver piece, but hands you this strange-looking fruit. It seems to have spikes around it. Nothing super sharp, but little hard spikes around it with a bit of fur. This is a water fruit.
Fascinating.
Yes, grown in the Elysian archipelago. But I'll tell you what, my husband figured out how to grow it up here, a little farther north. You'll enjoy it. I promise. I promise.
What, is it made out of water?
Well, there's a lot of water in it. But here, the reason it's called water fruit is because it's grown typically in salt water or around salt water. But we know how to grow it in fresh water. And I'll tell you what, the fresh waters are a lot sweeter.
Well, couldn't you just get water anywhere?
Not salt water, no. But my husband knows a special trick to grow it in fresh water. So we use the water from the river.
Alright. Okay, alright. Yeah.
And how do we eat this fruit? Do we just break it open and eat it, or do we need to?
If you have a strong enough hand, you can snap it right in half and eat the inside. You can get a wooden spoon from somewhere, or you could just finger it out.
All right. Very good.
Well,
Enjoy.
yeah, give me Hand it here. Bro, see
hand it
that?
to Duck.
Oh, sure. Yep, I'll give it to Duck.
Duck is going to snap it.
Okay. Duck, you have very strong, big hands. They it snaps pretty easily under your pressure. And inside you see a very colorful, strong, blue-looking, fruity substance, almost like the inside of a kiwi.
Wait, that's not water.
But it's strong blue. It is very wet, but it's not water, no.
Well, no, I told you. You grow it in water.
My head hurts. Alright.
Try it. It's good. Maybe you'll buy some more.
Duck is gonna eat some.
It feels like it turns to liquid the second you put it in your mouth. Like it melts straight away, and it covers and coats the entirety of the inside of your mouth with a very, very sweet flavor, almost like a kiwi, but a lot sweeter than a kiwi.
Duck spits it out.
Oh,
Oh, too sweet.
that took a long time to grow. I'm sorry you didn't like it.
Here, someone take this. Someone take this.
I'll take it. Macaulay will take it and try it.
Okay. Again, it covers your mouth with this wet sweetness spreading across the entirety of your mouth. Almost like a kiwi, but a lot sweeter.
All right. Well, I like it. I'd like to buy 3 more if I could.
Oh, 3 more here.
She hands you 3.
That'll be just about 7 copper.
7 copper. Okay. So I'll give her a silver because that's all I have.
Oh, wonderful. Here, take 1 more.
And she hands you 1 more.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. As I told you, 3 tailors that I know of. One has a stall on the other side of the market. One's all the way down in downtown Farthing. That's where I get my clothes. He's the best. And Craftsman's Hold. There's another one. He's a little more expensive.
All right. Thank you. So where do you all want to go? Duck, do you think that we need an expensive cape? I'm inclined to think that.
Well, I mean, how expensive could a cape be, right? Let's go.
Well, I guess it's how can you? It's hard to place value on a thing that's so dear to everyone's heart. There is a physical component to it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's look at the expensive, and if it's too pricey, then we can go to the cheap.
All right.
Well, I don't want to compromise on this. This is very important.
Yep. I, against all reason, I agree.
All right. So, you're gonna make your way down the southern road here towards the Craftsman Hold?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to?
Oh, Takumi, would you like one of these water fruit? And Jack, would you like one of these water fruit?
Yeah, I'll have one.
Keko desu. Takumi extends a hand
What was that, the signal?
to indicate that he's politely refusing.
Okay. All right. So
Doctor.
Jack, I gave you one.
To put the entire thing in my mouth.
Wait, not cracking it open?
The whole.
Oh. Okay. So, are you you're not gonna swallow it right away, right? You're gonna break it in your mouth?
Swallow it whole. I'm just gonna crunch it. Crunch.
Okay. So you crunch it down. The first taste is extremely brittle, and brittle. Sorry, bitter. That's the word I'm looking for. The first taste you get as you're crunching through it is very, very, very bitter. It seems like the furry outside of this thing is not very tasty, but as you crunch into the middle of it, you feel a burst of sweet flavor rush out from the fruit itself and cover your mouth. And the way your mouth is formed as a dragonborn isn't exactly ideal for eating fruit this way. So a lot of blue juice begins dripping out from your mouth as you're doing this.
I'm gonna pretend not to notice because it's the same color as my skin, and just ignore it.
Okay. So you're gonna head down to...
I was totally waiting for you to say make a con.
No.
Teeth, I do not need con save.
Are you gonna broil it too with your breath attack?
Ouch. I don't think electricity works for that.
Yeah, it'll warm it up. It might electrocute you though. But in any case, so you head down the road south. You didn't ask the woman where in the Craftsman's Hold the tailor was, but it doesn't really matter as you come down. A building right on the corner of the street here, right around here, has a very, very large sign hanging off of it, gilded, a black sign with gold inlays that seems to be a drawing of a man in a tunic. If you had a guess, this would probably be the tailor.
Oh,
Well, Doc, I think that we found our tailor.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, this would be it. Alright, who's doing the talking?
This has been your passion, Doc, but if you want to, you're more than welcome.
It's a lot of pressure.
Well,
Is anyone else getting capes?
I can start the conversation and you can add color.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so we'll walk in and.
Okay. As you step through this large, ornate door in this beautiful-looking building, you hear faint music, though you can't quite pinpoint where it's coming from. But it's very high class and very sophisticated, if you will. And you see a large room before you. It seems to have a number of large velvet-lined seats, a few mirrors by the wall, and there's a man in a beautifully done tunic with gold inlays going down the chest, and he turns to all of you and he says, "Oh no, look what the cat dragged in."
So
How can
before
I
we
help you?
enter, can Ragnar use minor illusion to just like put a monocle on?
Yes.
Done.
Okay. So you were at least one of you has taste.
So Macaulay's just going to kind of reach into his pocket and also do a minor illusion, but with his back turned. But look like he's reaching into his pocket to pull out a monocle.
Okay. Well,
And on the other eye.
Put on the other eye.
Monocles.
What can I
He's gonna,
do for you
Doug is
today?
gonna put his fingers in the shape of a monocle around his eye.
This man looks at the three of you. He's got lighter gray hair. He seems like an older man, and he says, "You know, three can play that game." And he pulls out an actual monocle from one of his pockets and puts it on. Now let me get a better look at all of you. Yes, an elf. All right. A human, not from around here, not by what you're wearing. A dragon. I could work with that. And you're a big person. What are you? A giant? He says, pointing at
I'm Doc. Hello.
Well, you're not a duck, but I can work with that. All right. Right. What is it you need?
Alright.
We need
That's very
a
intimidating.
fine cape. Matching capes for all of us.
Matching capes. Well, you've come to the best place in town. I am Cedric Curtuftington, and this is my tailor shop. I shall help all of you. Matching capes. Tell me, do you have a motto, a name, anything to inspire me when I imagine these capes?
Oh.
Come, man, I need ideas.
We really should have come up with a name.
All right. I will at least get you sized up. Mariana! He calls, and quickly a woman shuffles in, a younger woman with 2 others. They run in and they seem to be holding little sticks with markings on them as they run up and begin sizing each one of you around the hips and around your sides for height and all that sort of thing. While they're doing this, Niklas, it's been about the time where you're rounding the corner here around the Old Town Market and heading towards the inner gate towards the main. Mariana is going to turn to you and say, have you ever been to the main before?
To be quite frank, I've never been to this city in my life.
Oh, well, the main is, well, the main castle for the city. It's where House Fireheart sits. The Lord of House Fireheart, it's his castle. He's the one to rule over the city. He's one of the High Lords of the land.
Lord Fireheart, you say?
Yes. They're an important house around here. Obviously, they run the city, but my father is his court wizard.
There is one thing I don't understand now that you mention it. It just brings it to my mind. What's the daughter of a court wizard doing in such a small town as Brewery?
Well, I like to travel and offer my services where they're needed. This city has enough healers and helpers, and I thought maybe I'd go help the little sister town out. Besides, up there I can get access to ingredients and other things I can't down here, and my father, being the court wizard, can send ingredients I can't get up there to me.
Yeah, it makes enough sense, I suppose. I've dealt with supply lines of a sort, you might say. So I understand the need to have someone in multiple locations.
Yes.
So what else of the city do you know? What else can I expect?
Well, it's a bit of an open secret, but there is the spider's web in town. You've heard of them?
Niklas just kind of gets a sour look on his face. Unfortunately so, yes.
Yes, well, they're very influential around here. It's said that the Spider Queen, the Black Widow, she herself lives in the city, but no one knows who it is.
Well, if I were writing the story, I would hazard a guess that the Lady of House Fireheart is the Black Widow. But then again, I'm a mere storyteller. I come up with the most dramatic thing I can think of.
Katrin's been dead for a long time. It would be quite the turnaround if she ended up being the Black Widow.
Well, as I said, storyteller.
Well,
Although it is sad,
as much as that would be,
wife is dead.
yes, childbirth will do that. But as much as I love a good story, I wouldn't make such accusations as we get towards the main. Eric, he's a good man, but such talk won't please him. Eric Fireheart. That's his full name.
Well, I would imagine not. I may have a flair for the dramatic, but I'm not quite as silly as I look.
As you say that, you've arrived at the gate proper. This one is indeed guarded by about 5-6 guards, standing around, seeming to block the entrance. except for a few who seem to flash a pass as they walk through. As you approach, one of the guards speaks up. Halt! What is your business here? Not just anyone walks into the main.
I'm escorting this fair young lady to her father, the court wizard.
Apologies, Mariana. I didn't recognize you at first. Of course. Is this man absolutely necessary to come with you? She turns around and looks at you and says, well, he did help me get down here, and he and his friends did save me. I think my father might have a reward for him. All right. Well, you may pass, but once you leave, you're not coming back in.
If that is so the law, then that is so the law.
All right. Straight to the main. I've got my eyes on you. He then steps aside, and so do a few of the other guards to let the two of you pass in. As you enter the walls, and you see within inside the main quarter, you see a very large, functional yet still very pretty castle in front of you, surrounded by nice groomed woods and a few larger looking mansions and estates. Well, it's midday, so my father's probably in the main proper, not in his, not by his quarters. So I believe that's where we should be heading.
Oh, you would know better than I, Mariana. Tell me, what is your father like, anyway?
He's a good man. He can have a temper sometimes, but he'll be happy to know you helped save me. He'll definitely reward you. He likes to reward those that have helped.
Well, while I shan't say no and potentially dishonor the man, truth be told, I barely did anything. And had I been there,
yes,
simply helping you would have been reward enough for me.
Why, thank you, she says with a smile. He may be a bit short-tempered, what with politics going on right now. He's always preferred the magics, but as court wizard, he does have to deal with some of the politics of the region. And with the death of good King Gallius, I doubt he's going to be in the best. But he should be all right.
I certainly hope so. I look forward to meeting the man at the very least. Perhaps he can regale me with a story or two of his own.
He does like to tell his stories. Well, if you'd follow me, she says, heading towards what seems like the front gate of the main itself. It seems as though the three women are finished measuring the six of you, because I'm assuming Iris Vale is with you. And Cedric looks at you. So did we decide on what we'd like to do?
Reminder that Duck has the dirty but still quite intact cape that Niklas gave him. So, so there should at least be like a template to work off of.
I can work with this, but I don't. Would you like something else?
What about the flock?
The flock.
The flocking adventurer.
I understand. So you want birds on your cape? Yes, birds, like a flock of birds. And you are like duck. Yes, duck. Ducks. We'll put ducks on the back of your.
A flock of seagulls.
Seagulls.
Flocking seagulls.
Yeah, Ragnar's gonna be like, how about we just do blank ones and we will get them embroidered later.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I get a
That
dragon
would
on
be
mine?
very expensive. A dragon. Yes, a dragon. Like Gallius, whatever his name. The king. Yes, he's got a very beautiful dragon on his emblem. We can do like that. Yes. Or what do we do? Blank ones, because I do embroideries, but it's a little more expensive. But that's fine.
have a lot of money to spend.
Oh, money. Yes, money. Good. So we do blank ones. What color you want?
Oh, I want the symbol that I posted in the chat on mine.
Where is that one in the chat?
It's above Dr. Jack Bright's roll for wisdom.
Okay.
I want that.
Yes.
Can Ragnar start describing the picture I just posted?
Well, I do not. Yes, yes. I could do something like that, but it would be very, 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 very expensive. It's a lot of work, you know.
How much are we talking?
Oh. Am I going to color it like you told me in the picture? Colors.
Ragnar is now dead set on this. Yes.
Dye red. Okay. And do you want all three people, or do you just want the man in the middle with the hat?
So, just one in the middle.
Just the man in the middle. And you want him yelling? Yes, yelling. And colored, the mouth colored in, so it's dark. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And what is this symbol? It is like a sword with the like a cross. Yes.
I don't know. Takumi speaks a different language.
Well. I believe I can do this, but for the dye, for the for that. Yes, you will give me a week, and it will be 50 gold.
50 gold apiece?
50 gold pieces.
Apiece.
Nah, just for this special cape.
Oh.
Because this is a lot of work. You understand? I have to buy all the dye, and I have to make it intricate detail. Understand?
How much would it be to get a black cape with a dragon embroidered on it?
How good? What color is the dragon? And what color is the cape? Let me hear.
Black cape, like all black background, and a dragon embroidered on in gold thread.
Yes, the golden dragon, just like that, well, you want real gold? Yes, not faux gold, real gold.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with real gold. That sounds spicy.
Okay, and how do you want it? Do you want the dragon in passant? Do you want the dragon rampant?
With
Rampant
dragon.
is when he's standing up and he's roaring. Passant when he's
Bless you.
laying down.
let's do the first one.
Passant or rampant? Is he standing up? Is he growling? Or is he laying down like he's sleeping? Or do you just want the dragon head?
Very confused because he can't make that sound with his mouth.
Passant? No, it's
Now the other one.
Pissint. Something like that.
Is it-
trying to pronounce croissant?
Passant!
No,
Don't make me drop my croissant!
Is this guy just now like the
Jesus
chef
Christ.
from The Little Mermaid?
Les poissons. No, it's rampant or passant. It's
Rampant.
rampant. So you want him, yeah. So you want rampant. Okay, rampant. Well, we can do that. The gold dragon rampant. Did you want him just a dragon symbol, or did you want a specific dragon, like a gold dragon with the beard? Or did you want a red dragon with the horns? Or a blue dragon with the horn in the middle? What would you like? What kind of dragon? What kind?
The blue dragon.
So you want a blue dragon embroidered in gold on a black cape. Am I correct? Okay.
Just saying, blood will show on a black cape, but if you have a red cape,
Good. No. We do cleanings as well. We can clean blood away with some magic. But no problem. That is what we do. We do black cape, gold-colored blue dragon. So he's got the one horn in the middle. Yes, understood. Rampant dragon. Okay, that would be. Let me see. Blue dye. Did you want any blue or just all gold? Blue dye is expensive. Gold. Okay. Gold. That one's a little tough. 40 gold pieces. You're using gold.
So can
Blue
like,
dye is more expensive than gold, but it's still expensive for gold.
can Ragnar like huddle the guys in the room together here, just have like a quiet conversation real quick?
Yeah.
So like we're gonna kill him and take the money back, right?
No. If we kill him, we can't get our capes because it's gonna take a week.
Well, no, we kill him after we get the capes, because $50 or 50 gold is just ridiculous amounts for.
No, it's not. It's not even that much.
You want me to squeeze him?
Like, well, not yet, Doc.
Right.
Like maybe,
Yeah, right now.
yes, maybe.
Right. Alright,
But-
you just say the word.
50 gold. That's like a potion that would save your life. This is, albeit these are fancy capes, it is a cape. We could maybe.
I don't think you understand the gravity.
Deal?
I was just gonna
Capes?
say, clearly isn't understanding how important the cape is, and has become a symbol of who we are and where
We
we're
can't
going.
kill him. Because if we kill him, then who's gonna clean blood off my cape?
Well, if you just got a red cape,
How about a red cape with a blue dragon on it would look dumb.
Besides, my cape
thought-
is going to be pretty red.
I thought the whole point was you're all getting matching capes.
Well, we've diverged. We've adapted to the circumstances.
Right. Do we
Matching
want one,
styles
like, do
differ
we
in
want to put
specifics.
our adventuring name on the top? Do we want to have one common name that we're all known by or something?
Yep, I like that idea. I think we
Yeah.
should call ourselves Duck's Friends.
No, that's a bad idea.
If we're gonna all get capes, yes, we should all get like black capes with a group name, and if we want something customizable, the logo should be different on each of ours.
Yeah, I still think our group name should be like the Flock. Right, so it can sound like we're cussing whenever we talk about ourselves. Be like, oh yeah, we're the Flocking Adventurers.
The frock.
I love those flocking guys. Right?
I love those frocking guys.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't.
Now, we are a professional establishment. I do not want any of these speak in my place.
Why don't we put the name of the god we love the most on each of our capes?
I like that idea.
Or they-
What if
Oh,
some
hey.
of us like ourselves more than gods?
I
Then
need to
you are a
find the video.
heretic.
I was gonna say I need to find the video clip where it says it says here you're a heretic.
Hey, Cape Man, how much would a gray cape be with an embroidered duck on the back in the shape of a D, as if it was like cleaning itself, taking a bath?
Say that one more time. A duck on the
Yeah.
back of your cape,
Oh,
cleaning
right,
itself,
yeah.
so its beak is down and it's
Yeah, yeah.
cleaning. Yes,
Yeah, and it looks like a D.
and it looks like a D. D for duck. I understand.
Yeah. Yeah,
What color?
I don't know. What color goes?
Mine will be red.
Not red. Gray.
So a
Red.
gray duck on the black
Yeah.
cape.
Yeah.
Okay. This not too expensive. With the sewing and the duck. Only 15 for you. 15 gold.
Okay, right, yeah.
Any other decisions? So right now I have a duck in the shape of a D. This man wearing this hat and this coat and the cross thing around his neck.
That's for you, he says, pointing at Ragnar. And for you, I have a golden blue dragon on a black cape. Yes?
That is the thing.
So I need one for you, Mr. Elf, and for you, Mr. Not from around here.
Sure. So for myself, I would just like a plain black cape, except do your best to come up with, at the hem, at the bottom, flames coming up about 6 to 12 inches.
Okay, so flames off the hem of the cape. Yes, that is doable. What color flames? Did you want them red, gold, a mix to make them look realistic?
Realistic.
Okay. That's also not too expensive. That one I can do just about 15. Yes, we can do that. 15 gold for you as well.
Perfect. That's a deal.
Would spend all of the money I have to get this cape enchanted so I can keep it.
And you, he says, pointing at you, Takumi.
I must have a cape that is crimson red.
Ah, red, not too expensive.
And in the hem, I would like you to run a large piece of cord, such that when I draw it tight, I can take this cape and turn it into a sack.
Ah, I see. Yes, we could do that.
Good. And I would like you to put this symbol on the back, so that all can see my name.
Okay. Yes, not too hard. We can do that for... That material, that one, and that... I think 15 should be good for you, too. These are not too hard. The dragon and the man with the hat and all that, that's a little hard. So we can do that, 15, yes.
Very well.
Okay. So, we've got you with the red cape, the crimson red cape that can be tied into a sack and has that symbol there. Good. And we have you, it's a plain black cape with flames coming up for a good 12 inches or so from the bottom, from the hem. Yes, good. And we have you are a blue dragon, but in gold on a black cape. Good. And I said what? 50 gold for you? That yes. Or did I say less?
Yeah, I'll pay 50.
Okay. And you, I have the man with the hat and the cloak and the cross and all that in red. And I said, for life, it would be 50 for you as well. Correct? You change your. Okay. What would you like?
Ragnar's gonna want a black cape with a almost black, but actually gray, like super dark charcoal, 2 daggers crossed on. So it'll look basically all black, unless you really look at it, and then you'll see the 2 daggers.
Oh, I see. That is pretty easy to do, and the dye is not too expensive. Only 15 for that as well. And then for you, the duck in the shape of the D. And the duck was gray on the black cape, yes?
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right. It will take me a week to about a week and a half to make all of these capes. Understood? But I charge up front. Mariana! He calls out again, and the woman who walked away with the rulers comes running in with what looks like a small coffer, and she opens it up. There's some coins at the bottom. You can pay right in here. So that was 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, and 50. Yes? Okay.
I will drop a sack of 50 gold coins into there.
Ah, very good, very good. Now you, sir. He says,
Duck counts the gold one by one, and twice for good measure.
okay. Very good. Next.
So Mercalli just gives him the 15 gold.
Okay. Fact.
All right, and you, sir, you too. He says, pointing at Ragnar and Takumi.
Where is the contract for this deal?
Contract? The contract is in my mind, but I can also have them write up one for you. Just give me one moment. He runs into the back and past a door, and comes back out with a seems like a piece of paper and a quill, and he places it onto a table nearby, and begins to write on it. Okay, what is your name?
Takumi.
Takumi. How do you spell that?
Ta-ku-mi.
Takumi. You see him spell it Tahquoome. Takumi. Okay. Well, Takumi, we are doing a cape.
There you go.
That has a cape that has crimson cape with that symbol in the middle. Yes, that can be tied up. Okay, and he begins writing down, and he says, "All right," and I'll write my name here, Cedric Tuftington. Okay. All right, here. Sign at the bottom, please.
Okay. Takumi removes a small package from his backpack, and in this small amount of velvet tied with a string, he removes a small rectangle and dips it in a little bit of ink and presses it down in the appropriate space.
Look, a learned man. He brings his own writing tools. Very good. Okay. Thank you. And he rolls it up. Would you like to have any more written up, or are you okay with just this contract I'll keep here?
So Ragnar will give him the gold and lock eyes and say, "I don't need a contract. I'll just burn this place down if I don't get what's owed to me."
Like I would not fulfill an order. You're fine, he says, and takes your money.
Takumi would like a second contract if he's not getting it.
All right. Araya! Calls out, and even though she's standing right next to him, she puts down the coffer, grabs the piece of paper, runs away to the table, grabbing another piece of paper, and begins copying it word for word over. You will let us sign that one again, okay?
Okay.
All right. She then hands it to you, so you can sign it.
Same.
All right. Well, if I have all your money, then you may leave. Come back within a week or so. Do you know where you'll be staying? I could come find you if they're done earlier.
We don't know yet, but if you could suggest a place,
Oh,
appreciate it.
well, there's a few good taverns around. How expensive are you looking to pay?
I would say that we're going to be here for a while, so a moderate rate.
Moderate. Okay. Well, my next question for you is: would you rather stay in an inn with other travelers, or would you rather stay in an inn with townsfolk who patron the place a bit more than the adventurers that come through this town?
My vote would be to meet locals. I guess I don't think that we can go wrong, actually. But if anyone else has an opinion.
Well, there's a few good taverns around here. For an okay tavern, you can go to the Blue Tankard. It's towards uptown, a little bit north of the Dwarven district, and it's got a nice enough owner. She's a small, well, they're all kind of small, but she's a dwarf. She runs a pretty good shop up there. There's a good number of patrons from town. No one obviously sleeps there. They have their own houses, but they go there for dinner. She makes a mean fish stew. Now, the other place that is pretty popular with both town folk and adventurers is in downtown Farthing. That's over the bridge to the east. And that's called the Cavernous Crack.
and she's got a famous drink over there, the Johnny Jump Up. It's a very famous drink. She gets a lot of travelers because of that. So if you'd like to head over there, there's another one. There is one more. What was the name? It was. Oh yes. The Grey Cat. The Grey Cat. If you go to Eston, it's an all right inn. Nothing fantastic about it, but you get your money's worth.
Well, it does have the name Cat in it, so that's a pretty good qualification right there.
Well, yes, but is there anything else I can help you with?
Not for me. Duck, are you satisfied with how this is going?
I think Brad's away right now.
He is.
I didn't notice. Okay.
If there's nothing else, just if you head west to the Aston Homes, you will find the Grey Cat, north for the Blue Tankard, and east for the Cavernous Crack. Those are the three biggest inns around. Now I will have my ladies get to work, and I will make your capes for you. Okay?
That works.
As he walks away, the Araya takes her contract, walking into the back with him, and they seem to begin doing whatever it is they're going to be doing. At this point, Niklas, you have arrived at the main. You've been let into the castle proper, and have found yourself with Mariana in a large, seemingly grand hall. And she says, if you follow me, it's his work quarters are right up here to the right. And she leads you towards the far right back corner of the grand hall, past the throne. There's a few people walking about, but no one stops you. And she opens a door leading down through a small hallway until you come into a room that has a number of bookshelves around the room itself, with little potions bubbling in little glass bottles. And there's a man with graying hair, with just some few strands, like salt and pepper, some few strands of dark black hair. He seems to be bending over a table, reading a book and mixing something idly to his right in a small pot. Father, I needed to visit you. You hear Mariana said, and the man turns around with a large smile and says, Mariana, it's so good to see you, my daughter. And he runs over, dropping the spoon into the pot he was mixing, and gives her a hug.
Niklas will make sure he stands well out of the way so that they can have their embrace.
It's been a long time since I've seen you, daughter. You needed to come for some ingredients, was it? Mariana gives him a bit of a sad look and says, well, I might need more than a few ingredients, Father. Brewery was attacked. I barely made it out. I wouldn't have survived if it wasn't for this man and his friends, she says, motioning to you. The man now turns to you and places out his hand to give you a handshake and says, well, if what she's telling is true, then I owe you a great deal for saving my daughter's life.
Niklas will offer his hand and return the handshake with a smile and say, truth be told, my friend, if a reward is what you wish to give, then I'll simply listen to a good tale.
Good tale. Yes, well, I have a good number of those.
if you'd allow me to finish mixing my brew over here, I can indulge you in a tale once I finish with the recipe. However, Mariana, you can go about your business. You can obviously take what you need from the coffers. You know where they are. With that, she bows her head. She says goodbye to you and heads deeper into the room and through another door on the other side. And you can hear some shuffling and some movement back there. Well, what sort of story are you in for, sir? I'm Seamus, by the way.
Seamus, eh? You may call me Niklas. Niklas Sweet.
Niklas, it's very good to meet you.
I am not from this land, so truthfully, I'd hope to be. I've heard stories, and by stories I mean the smallest of rumors, of the Hero King, as he is called.
Ah, you want to hear stories of Gallius?
Yes, why do they call him the Hero King, precisely?
Well, you see, Gallius is the first in a long time of great heroes. Now, every now and then, you understand, a great hero comes by and saves the day for a town, you know, the classic stories. Well, he was one of those people. He saved the people of People's Retreat by slaying the 2 dragons. Now, you've heard of the 2 dragons he slew, have you not?
That is one thing that none of the rumors ever truly mentioned. 2 dragons, you say?
Yes. He slew Tildorth, the Plagued One, and Erisul, Ender of Days, a green and black dragon, respectively. It's too bad that Zinareth got the better of him. He was a good king. He did well. But, he fought this trio of dragons on multiple occasions, and he was able, single-handedly, mind you, to slay Tildorth, the Plagued One, and Erisil, the End of Days. He also was able to unite the Sutherland, something that also has not been done in a very long time. The Sutherlands, you see, if you're not from around here, we're, to the outside world, we seem like one large nation, but we're really small, splintered nations, united every now and then by a strong leader. It's been a few hundred years since the Korths. They're one of the other houses, not in Rurides, mind you, but actually to the west. They're one of the houses in Westerhold. They're not very friendly with the Firehearts. However, they were once able to unite all the houses under their heel, if you will. Gallius didn't need to use as much force. His slaying of the 2 dragons did most of the talking for him, if you will. But he... I met him, you know? I met him once. It's unfair that he was taken from us so soon. Seamus seems to get a bit sad bringing up his death.
In my experience, when someone of such renown comes into this world, it's often that they're taken in a grand way.
Well,
And
we can only hope it was grand.
truthfully, I feel like those with such renown
He
have an ability about them.
refused to tell anybody where Zinareth's lair was when he went to go fight him. That was 2 years ago. No one's seen him since.
I almost don't blame him if I were writing the story. the hero would keep the information to himself so that none may follow him.
Yes, well... He was a good man. He did leave a confidant, if you will, a second in command to run People's Retreat, and she does her best, but she's not the dragon. Well, that's the nickname he had around the nobles, the dragon. He's not quite Gallius, but she does an okay job. I can understand it's very tough to stand in the shadow of such a influential man.
Yes, I can only imagine. What was her name, anyway?
Firth. Her name is Firth. And, right now, she rules over People's Retreat with the help of the Claw Council. The 12 Claws of the Dragon. You've no doubt heard of them.
I've heard things, yes.
Well, they're a... I guess you could call them law enforcement. I hear that 2 of them are coming to Breweries.
Oh, really?
Yes. If I remember correctly, there's Tracia, and I think it's Decon. Yes, Decon. I think those are the 2 that are coming. They're the first and second claw of the order, respectively. If you're lucky enough, you might bump into them and meet them. They're very, very renowned knights. Powerful people. Decon's a bit of a prude, but Tracy is a good woman.
I should only hope to meet them. I mean, I was barred further entry once I leave, so I doubt I'll run into them anytime soon, but I can only hope.
Oh! Well, then that is the gift I'll give you. Give me one moment. He says, running off to one of the shelves, he pulls what seems like parchment off of the wall and grabs a quill and begins scribbling something down. A moment later, he hands you this paper, and on it you see written, by the order of Seamus Pottier, Niklas Sweet is allowed entrance into the main. Speak with Seamus if any questions arise. This will allow you to travel in and out of the main at your leisure.
Well, I know not what to say, my friend. I asked for a mere tale, and you've given me entrance into one of the grandest castles I've seen in all my days.
Yes. Well, Eric is very proud of this castle. It was built by, what is it now? I hear it all the time. Great grandfather, something of the sort. As he says that, you hear the door open behind you, and a man walks in and says, "You missed another great. That's great grandfather." If you turn to look, you see a man wearing a blue and red tunic, beautifully designed, maybe by Cedric, you don't know, but beautifully designed tunic. He has dark brown hair, brown eyes, a strong nose, and seems to carry himself with an air of authority. And he looks at the 2 of you and says, "Seamus, would you like to tell me who this is?" Seamus looks between both of you and says, "Well, this man saved my daughter." "Is that so?"
Niklas will offer a polite bow, and when he returns up, he'll simply say, "Niklas Sweet, at your service. Lord Fireheart, I presume."
Yes. Very perceptive of you. What are you doing in Brevitties?
Oh, as your court wizard mentioned, I was escorting his lovely daughter here after saving her life. With the help of my friends, of course. I don't wish to negate their credit.
Oh, well. You're rewarding him, Seamus? Seamus nods and motions towards the paper. Ah. I don't know how many times I need to tell you this, Seamus. You do not have the authority to hand out passes to people, but I will allow it this once. Give it here. He has his hand, outdrawn towards you. He takes it from you, crumples it up, grabs a new piece of paper, as if he's been in here before. He knows exactly where it is. Writes on by the order of Eric Fireheart, Lord of the Main and of Brevitties and the surrounding dominion. What was your name again?
Niklas Sweet, my lord.
Niklas Sweet, and do you have any friends that you'd like to include with this pass?
Yes.
All right, can I get their names? First is fine, don't worry about the last.
Well, I'd rather not risk damaging any of your lovely castles, so let's omit a few of them. And simply say, Dr. Jack Bright, an elf called Merkali, and a giant of a man called Takumi. And there was also, well, no, he's a bit of a kleptomaniac. I wouldn't want him touching anything. So yes, just those.
All right. Here. This will allow you to enter the main and her surrounding areas. It won't get you into the surrounding manors and estates, but you can get to the door at least. If you have trouble with the guards, wave this at them, and they should go away.
But of course, my lord. A question, if I may.
Of course.
We recently, this is to do with, partly while we're here, brewery was recently under a siege, truthfully, by an orc warband, and, hence why we ended up saving, Mariana, but, nonetheless, do you have any ideas to where they may have come from, or why they were around for so long? Not that I'm saying that, you know, the surrounding areas were not under your protection. I'm sure that there's so much chaos going on with the recent political what-have-yous. They seem to have come out of nowhere.
The orcs? No, they're coming from... Brewery isn't the only town facing orcs right now. They're all coming from the Ostlands. Ever since Gallius died, these orcs have been going crazy, and they've been attacking even though they were supposed to be peaceful. So now we've lost all contact with our friends, the Horse Lords of the Ostlands, specifically King Bolothan. I haven't heard from him in a long time. And ever since that happened, they've been rampaging amongst the Broken Shores. There's nothing much I can do about it. I don't have the men to spare to run around, not with the Korths on the move. Meanwhile, Seamus, that's what I came to talk to you about. You're required in the war room. Seamus gives a nod, seemingly a bit annoyed, but quickly hurries out of the room.
If I may, my lord, you seem very busy, and I don't want to take too much more of your time. Given how thinly stretched your forces are, you seem to be in need of some assistance. May I offer mine and my companions assistance in dealing with some of these orc bands?
Well, I can tell you that we've found a few things out, and maybe you can deal with the one in Brewery if it suits you. These orc bands have access to magics that we don't really see among orcs. A few of my men to the northwest found that some of these orc bands hide in a dome of invisibility powered by a magic item in the middle, which is why they're able to get by and not be seen and not be found. If you were to search around the Brewery parts, you might find the warband's home base, if you will, that attacked the town, but I won't charge you with this if you don't want to go look.
Well, I certainly appreciate the... Oh god, I forgot the word I'm looking for. The care, I guess, of not charging us with this. We kind of stumbled into the situation on our own. And personally, I feel it to be our responsibility to see it through to the end.
Well, as I said, if you go towards Brewery, look around the surrounding town, there won't be signs of the Dome of Invisibility. You'll kind of just walk into it. There's nothing much more I can give you on that front. But, if you do, bring back as many ears of these orcs as you can, and I will reward you for each one.
Niklas will nod, and bow graciously. Thank you for your time, Lord Fireheart.
Of course. With that, he turns around and heads out of the room, seemingly on a mission, heading to the right of the door, and walks away. You are suddenly left alone in the room as you still hear some shuffling in the room past where Mariana went inside.
I'd like to take a look around the room and then check on Mariana.
Sure. Is there anything specific you're looking for, or do you just want to make a perception?
Just make a general perception, see if there's anything interesting, anything that, might catch my eye.
Sure. You want to make a perception check? Okay, so you see a lot of strange-looking ingredients all around the room. You notice that in one of the jars, one of the glass jars sitting on one of the shelves, is a flower. You were there, right? Yeah, you were there, I think. And this flower is nothing like you've seen before, except when you were in the Hag's Lair. It was the flower that that Irisvale pocketed before you guys took it. And it's a flower with a pink inside that slowly changes to a darker shade of purple around the actual around the actual petals. You don't know exactly what it is. You could roll for Arcana to check it, but it looks familiar because of that. You see a few other strange-looking bits and baubles of herbs or flowers or other things that a potion maker might have. You also see scrolls that seem to have an arcanic language written into the edges of them that you could also roll Arcana to see if you could read. Other than that, it seems like a pretty standard room for a court wizard. Lots of scrolls, lots of potion making things, and like I said, there's bubbling liquids in different pots around the room itself.
All right, Niklas just gonna take a note of that flower and then go check on Mariana and see how she's doing.
Sure. As you step inside to the next room where Mariana was, it's basically the first room on steroids. There's a lot less books, but it's just covered with shelves and glasses full of different alchemical ingredients and other things, every single one with a label. You again see one of those flowers, and this time there's a label underneath it that says under purple. Mariana is digging through a chest in the middle of the room that has more and more of these glass bottles full of ingredients. She turns to you at the sound of the opening door and says, "Oh, I thought you might be my father. Is this something you needed?"
Well, at first, no. I simply wanted to check and see how you were doing and say my goodbyes. But now I'm a bit curious about one thing.
Sure.
About how rare is this here? He's gonna grab the under purple and show it. Under purple, I believe it is.
Well, it's very rare. It's very illegal, but as a court wizard, it's not illegal for my father. But it's a very, very, very rare flower. It's typically grows in the Underdark. It's used for shape-changing potion and poisons. It's used for that too, but shape-changing potions is what it's more popular for.
Interesting.
Have you ever seen it before?
Only once, back in brewery.
Where did you see it?
When we went down... Well, I don't know if you knew about that, but when we were defending the town from the orcs, we discovered that there was a hag's lair within the crypts beneath the chapel, the church. And the hag had one of these.
Can you make another perception check for me? Oh, I see. I'm not sure how she would get her hands on something like that. Though hags can sometimes do business with Underdarklings. It's rather rare. Did you take it?
As far as I'm aware, it was destroyed.
Good. Good. That's a dangerous item for a hag to have. It's a very potent poison. I don't see why a hag would need a shape-changing potion.
Nor do I. I was merely curious as to where it might have procured it. Your father having it makes perfect sense to me.
Yes, well, there was a lot of dealings with unsavory people and even a drow to procure some of these ingredients. So it's very, very expensive. If you could put it back.
Oh yes, my apologies. He'll go ahead and set it back.
Okay. She gives you a smile and says, "Well, I'm still looking for some of the things I need. If you need anything else, I'll be here, but I'll probably be staying in my home tonight. Well, my father's home tonight, before heading up to brewery in the morning tomorrow."
Well, do you know of any places I might rent a room so that I might get some rest?
Well, there are a few places, most famous of which would either be the Blue Tankard or the Cavernous Crack. The Cavernous Crack is nearby. It's to the south in the downtown Farthing. The Blue Tankard is up north of the Dwarven District. We saw it when we came in. We passed by. The Cavernous Crack is pretty famous for its Johnny Jump Up. It's a brew that they make. But the Blue Tankard is a nice inn as well. Other than that, I don't really know of many of the other ones. They're just the two most famous.
Well, thank you for the information, Mariana. I would hope to see you before you take leave in the morning.
Well, you can come visit before I go.
Then I shall. If nothing else, to wish you fair travels. Niklas will
Thank you
give a
very much.
bow, graciously take off his hat, and make his exit.
Okay. Are you gonna head to one of the two taverns, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and head to the cavernous crack.
Okay. As for the rest of you, have you decided what tavern you're gonna head to?
Is that the one with the giant with the special drink?
Yes.
Yeah, so that caught my attention.
All right.
Just to see what would happen when Duck drank.
You wanna duck drink it. All right. So both parties, even though you have to travel a little bit farther, arrive at the downtown Farthing around the same time. Hey, yeah, I did take it from that. In any case, what's it called? You get to the downtown Farthing, and a lot of the houses are more decrepit here. A lot of the houses are a lot less nice looking, a lot more seedy folk walking around. But there's one big building in the middle of the downtown Farthing, right about here, that just sticks out like a sore thumb. Amidst these decrepit houses is a large 3-story building. Loud music coming out from inside. You can see just around the corner of a few of the houses is a large courtyard. People are back there. There's a fire pit going on. And a large sign hangs out the front door of this large 3-story building that's cracked right down the middle. And it says The Cavernous on it. In a fancy...
That's clever.
Yeah. In a fancy white writing. This, you all assume, is the Cavernous Crack. Niklas, you have seen your party standing outside the Cavernous Crack as you come down from the north.
Ah, there you are, my friends.
So, Nicholas, we're going to have capes. I don't know why I'm so happy about that, but there it is. Would you like a water fruit?
I'm sorry, what was that? I couldn't quite hear you over the sound of the partying.
A water fruit. It's a local delicacy.
Oh, I'm always up for trying new food, please.
So I'll give him a water fruit.
So, Niklas, water fruits are more well known to you from your sea travels as they grow more abundantly in the Elysian archipelago, where you would have spent a lot of time sailing. So it's a little weird that you have a water fruit here that, as you know, water fruit grows typically with salt water, not fresh water.
This is strange indeed.
Yeah, the family that grows them apparently has some kind of mastered some kind of process that allows them to grow them, and I gather that they grow in salt water normally, but these are freshwater water fruit.
Interesting. It looks roughly the same. A few small differences, but oh well. Down the hatch, bottoms up.
So you crack it in half. Do you scoop out a bit, or do you just put your face on it and chew it down? What do you do?
I was going for the whole thing.
Okay. So as you eat it down, it coats your mouth like a traditional water fruit does with its flavor, but it's way sweeter than what you're normally used to. Normal water fruit is not nearly as sweet as this water fruit is. This is also a lot bluer than the water fruit you're used to.
Oh my, that is sickly sweet. It's not bad, just
No, right?
definitely an acquired taste for me, at least. Oh, you know what this would be good with? Some spice ale.
Please, what
I
would
mean,
you
I
all like to
suppose
do?
Joe goes good with anything.
The music is still loud from the inside of the inn. You can hear people laughing and talking. It sounds very busy.
So I guess that we should. Well, we know that we have to wait for a little while for our capes. I don't know if there's anything else for us to do in town, but we can get ourselves some quarters, a room to sleep in, and
Indeed, at the very least, a room or two.
yeah, or 6. And we could just start to get to know the locals here.
Indeed, I know. Mariana mentioned she would be leaving in the morning, and
Is she returning back to her town?
Indeed, I'd like to give her a fond farewell. The poor girl deserves it.
Okay. Do you head into the inn proper?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. As you open the door and head inside, you see a very large open room. Many a table are set up in front of you. There is a large bar off to the back of the room, stairs on either side that lead up to a balcony on the top left and right of the inn itself, with more tables and more people up there. Off to the left is what seems like a few windows looking out to not much of a view. It's just other houses off to the left. But to the right is a small step up that acts as a sort of stage. And you see a lot of, not a lot, but about 4 or 5 people with different musicians playing some music, the music you assumedly heard outside. It's very lively, even though it's only early afternoon. There's a lot of people in the tavern, and there's a lot of people at the bar. No one seems to come to you to seat you.
Niklas is going to go to the bar and try and get the keep's attention.
As you head over to the bar, you spy a large burly man, balding, with a long brown beard, handing out drinks to different patrons sitting at the bar. He turns towards you. Oh, hi. Can I help you?
Yes. In the market for a place to sleep for the next foreseeable future. Might you have around 6 rooms available?
You better talk to Elise. She's the innkeep. Elise. He calls over to the left, seemingly at somebody behind the bar, but you don't see anyone behind the bar. When suddenly you hear, "Yes, I'm coming," as a person pops out from behind the bar, stepping up. It's a gnome. It's a short, very obviously short woman, gnomish woman, standing now. It seems like she stepped upstairs behind the bar, leaning on the bar in front of you, and says, "What can I do for you?"
Ah, gnome. It's been a while since I've seen one of your kind. Pleasurable sight, to be sure. I'm in the market for roughly around 6 rooms, if possible, for the foreseeable future.
6 rooms. One of you sharing a room? There's 7 of you. She says, pointing around down the lot of you guys. I watched you walk in together. Iris Vale too.
Well, I was assuming that Takumi was going to keep Ragnar on a leash. But yeah, 7 rooms, I suppose.
Yes, well, you're in luck. 3rd floor, 7 rooms. That'll do. We do
Some say we're a bit expensive, but I think we're worth it. You get bed, you get breakfast. Lunch is a little bit cheaper because you have a room, and you get 1 free ale, all of you, for having a room. It'll be 1 gold piece per person.
Per person, okay.
Per night.
Very well. Niklas is going to go ahead and set down 14 gold pieces.
You're staying 2 nights, all of you, or are you staying 14 nights?
2 nights for the lot of us, at least for now.
Okay. You can always pay again later. She takes the 14 gold pieces, counting them as she tosses them off the counter into her hand, and then bends down, stepping off the stairs, and puts something away before stepping back up. All right. Here are your keys, respectively. You're in rooms 1 through 7. As she hands out 7 keys and lays them flat across the counter.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And your name was again, I'm sorry?
Elise Inchfield. It's nice to meet you, she says, pulling her hand out to shake yours.
Niklas will return the handshake. It is a pleasure to meet you, Elise.
And I didn't quite catch your name?
Oh, yes, pardon me. My manners have been failing me as of late. Niklas Sweet, at your service.
Niklas Sweet. It's good to meet you. All right. Well, you can drop your things off in your room whenever you'd like. Just lock the door behind you. There's thieves around.
Very well. Thank you very much. Niklas will disperse the keys to each of the members.
The man turns back towards all of you. You can come claim your free ale whenever you'd like, okay? It's 1 free ale per person.
Sounds like a deal to me. Now,
Sounds great.
What was this about everybody getting matching capes?
So, well, it turns out that they're not really going to match. They'll match in that they have a common goal or a shared sense of purpose, but they do vary somewhat. They do have a dark theme, but we all individualize them. But they do have a base black color, except for Takumi. Money, probably not very well spent, but you know, when passion is driving your decisions, money becomes a secondary consideration.
No, I know that feeling all too well. I mean, personally, I've got 15 capes, but
I have to say it's kind of a new feeling for me, but I guess this is what happens when you leave the woods.
Speaking of,
Rather
I don't know
enjoying
much
it.
about you. What's your story, friend?
Well, I am excuse me. Well, I don't have much of a story just yet, and that's part of the whole purpose of leaving home. But I have a bit of a legacy in Saria, who was my 5th great grandmother, and even though most of my family is far more muscular in nature, I happen to be more magically inclined than my ranger brethren, you could say. And I was always fascinated by the Great War, so while they were out doing their ranger things and shooting arrows and whatnot, I was reading books. And I'm hoping to find more about the Great War. So just really on a big, long walkabout to study. And then I came across you guys. and it's been an interesting interesting week since we first met.
Yeah, I like you guys. I think.
Duck, I know I like you.
Alright, yeah. Grumble.
Oh, that
Grumble.
reminds me. I have this, and Niklas will produce the, I guess, passport of sorts. The Lord of the area, Lord Fireheart, gave some of us access into the main as thanks for helping with the situation in Brewery, and specifically helping with Mariana.
Well, that's outstanding. You say access to what, did you say?
The main, the central keep, the castle, and the area around it.
Fascinating. I bet they have a good library in there.
Oh, you have no idea, my friend. I met with Mariana's father, and he's got quite the, well, it's not so much a library, so much as it is a pantry of sorts? Shelves upon shelves of ingredients for potions and poisons and the like, tomes upon tomes of information and arcane scribbles.
Yeah, that is a risk of the profession. It's easy to get bogged down in those kinds of things.
I thought you meant like food ingredients. No, I was really excited for a second.
Oh, food. Would you like some food? We've got a large selection of things you can have.
How large are we talking here?
Well, I have a menu. This is the barkeep speaking to you now.
I'll have one of everything.
One of, oh my,
Including
well,
drinks.
including drink. Well, if you're here at the Cavernous Crack, you need to have Elise's famous Johnny Jump Up.
Did you hear me, man?
You want it all. All right, well, just give me one moment. He runs into the back of the bar, opening a swinging door, and just goes, "I need one of everything," and then comes back, running back out, and says, "Well, here you are. Here's the selection of drinks." And he begins setting up mugs, pouring a bit of everything in each one. You see a familiar Forge Fire ale in one of them, a few other basic-looking ales, one with some wine, and the last one, he pulls up a special-looking bottle. This one is completely dark glass, and it shows on it is etched on it is a person jumping up, and he pours just a very, very healthy amount into this mug, and says, "And that's the Johnny Jump Up. That'll be 1 gold for the Forge Fire, a silver, and then 5 gold pieces. So that's what, 6 gold pieces and 3 silvers, please."
Alright, yeah,
Though you
right.
get this one for free, he says, handing you the Forge Fire ale. So just make it 5 with 3 silvers.
Oh, yeah, alright. And Duck is gonna pound it all.
Okay, which one are you starting with?
Jump up. Because Duck has no patience.
Can you make a Constitution save for me?
Oh boy.
So you down this this very sweet tasting ale, and as it goes down your throat, you feel fantastic. You feel like you could climb a mountain with how much energy this drink is giving you. You feel inclined to buy another and see how it keeps going, but overall you feel a lot better. you feel really, really good.
No bad.
Would you drink the other ones as well?
Oh yeah, one after
Okay.
the other.
All right. Then after the Johnny jump up, drinking that down like that, the rest of them are not nearly as good. The only one that tastes remotely as good as the Forge Fire Ale. But the rest of them are just kind of bland in comparison to the Johnny jump up. Would anyone else like their free drink? The barkeep says.
Ragnar says, "I'll order a Johnny Jump Up. That looks delicious."
He pours you a large mug, good pint of it, hands it to you, and says 5 gold pieces, please. Though, if this is your first drink, I'll discount it to 3.
Done deal, good sir.
Make a Constitution save for me.
This is gonna be rough, boys. Oh, look at me go.
You feel fantastic. You feel like you could climb a mountain, kill 1,000,000 men, and still be okay. You feel like having another one would be a great idea. Anyone else?
None for me at the moment, though. Certainly just a small bowl of stew would suffice for me at the moment.
All right. He heads into the back, pulling out what seems like to be ready-made stew and pouring it into a bowl and handing you some of it. That'll just be 2 copper.
Very well, thank you, my friend. Niklas will straight up hand him a gold piece.
Wow. Thank you very much. That's quite kind of you.
In place of the drink, may I have some bread?
Bread, of course. He just leans over the bar, pulling out a large loaf of bread. How much would you like?
As much as you would think equivalent to a free drink.
Oh, well, the bread's pretty cheap. He gets a knife, cutting it, this large loaf straight in half, and hands you an entire half of the loaf. That would be equating to a free drink.
That is 2 gold worth of bread. I'm asking you, like I
2 gold. Well, I mean, he got a discount instead of a
see.
free drink. This is more like a silver
Gotcha.
piece worth of bread, which is
Okay.
what he gave the free drink to Duck as,
Gotcha. Okay.
or a gold. Yeah.
Takumi's gonna stalk outside, and you said that this wasn't a very good-looking area, right?
Outside is not the only place that looks really good. Is the back. So if you were to leave, there's a door in the back of the
just mean
bar.
there seems to be a bit of poverty.
Yes.
He's gonna search for someone who is begging and looking like they could use some food,
Okay.
and of course hand them that bread.
As for the rest of you,
No. Never mind.
Does the bartender have like a fermented version of
a fermented version of what?
the water fruit juice?
A fermented Well, did you? Elise, again, this small gnome climbs up the stairs behind the bar, leaning on it, and she says, "What is it you're looking for?"
I enjoyed the water fruit, but I would like it with a bit of a kick. Do you have any? Do you ferment it?
I've not tried that before, but I am a master mixer. If you give me some time, I can whip something up for you.
I won't give you
Sure.
this time. By gods, I will invest. If you
Invest?
can produce a wine based on water fruit, I will invest in it, and by gods, we will take it everywhere.
Well, I already make a lot of money from the jump up, but I don't have a wine line. I could try that if you could tell me where you got it from. Importing water fruit from the south isn't going to be very easy.
Well, we have a local supply, actually.
Who did you buy it from?
Of course, I forgot her name.
I don't even know if she gave you her.
We actually don't know her name at the moment, but we could connect you if you're able to make something out of the water fruit.
Well, do you have a water fruit on hand?
I do. I have one last water fruit.
Well, I'll have to taste it, and I'll think of what I can do. It'll take some time to make something for you, but if you come back,
I actually have 2 water fruit left.
Oh, 2
so
water.
I can have them both.
Perfect. Well, let me think. If you come back in about 2 weeks, I might have something that that would be palatable. But I can do it for you.
All right, well, that's great. Let's give it a try.
Perfect. She says she takes the water fruit off the bar, hobbles down the stairs, hurries off into the kitchen, and comes back a few minutes later, and says, "Well, I will get on to that as soon as possible. Is there anything else I can help you with?"
That's it for me. I'll just have a glass of your local white wine, sweeter than dry.
Of course. She gives a little nod to the barkeep, and he pulls out a bottle, pouring you some white wine, and handing it to you. Here you are, sir. That's on the house.
Thank you. So I'll drink that slowly.
Sure. Ragnar, can you make a perception check for me?
Oh boy.
That jump up is just ruining your perception, man.
Yeah. Who is... So Takumi's outside of the bar. Everyone else, so you're all gathered around the bar proper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Indeed.
Jack, did you get a drink? Did you want a drink?
I'm gonna save mine.
Okay. You're sipping your wine, or you're drinking your Johnny Jump Up. When quite suddenly, Ragnar, you feel a hand on your shoulder. It grips your left shoulder extremely tight, and you hear a familiar voice saying, "Remember me?"
So Ragnar, in a slightly different voice, will kind of jump in startlement, look and go, "Who the hell are you?"
He looks very familiar to you. Hasn't really changed much since the last time you saw him, except that right now he's holding a rather pointy dagger right at you, and he says, "Don't play stupid with me, Theron."
At this, Ragnar's still trying to play pretty dumb. Surely I have no clue what you're talking about.
At this point, Elise is back up on the bar, and she looks over at all of you, and she says, "Boys, no spiderweb business in here. You know the rules." The man who is currently still holding your shoulder turns to her and says, "Shut up, Elise." As he says that, a few patrons stand up, pulling weapons from their holsters, their hilts. I'm sorry, their sheaths. That's the word. pulling their swords, axes, whatever, from their sheaths.
They pull their swords from their hilts and break them off like, ah! I'll beat you to death.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Jack, at this point, your sword is not vibrating that much. It's kind of shaking a tiny bit. As a lot of people have now stood up. And quite suddenly, in the middle of the inn, a large portal, black opening, opens up in the middle of the inn with a fiery yellow around it. Otherwise, it just seems like a void. And a man in a dark blue robe steps out, and he says, "Merrick, grab him and take him now. I can't hold this open forever." With that, the man holding you, Ragnar, is going to try to pull you with him. What are you going to do?
Is he just grabbing my shoulder?
Well, at this point, he's run his hand down to your upper arm and is like tugging at you, trying to like rest you with him over to the thing. His dagger's still pointed at you.
Perfect. So Ragnar would like to use his mage hand
Okay.
to grab a dagger and actually just cut the bolts of cloth that I had wrapped around my arms off, so that he no longer has a grip on my arm.
Okay. Your mage hand summoned invisibly, deftly grabs one of the daggers off of your body and cuts the cloth off. His grip loosens and slides off of you as he steps back a bit, his dagger still pointed at you. Don't make this hard than it has to be. Harder than it has to be.
So at this point, then, I would like to Sparta kick him right into... I assume we're close enough to the portal.
The portal's a couple feet behind you. It's like 8 or 9 feet behind you.
Definitely not close enough to Sparta kick him then.
But
So in that case, I will call for someone who might be strong enough to Sparta kick him. I will call for...
yeah.
Why would we?
What
Why
do you
would
need?
we
What's
make him
happening?
escape? Why don't we just keep him here?
Well, I can just squeeze him if you want. Hey, you. Duck is gonna. He's gonna try and grab him.
So as you step towards him, the wizard closes the portal. The weapons drawn are now raised. The man says, "It's the hard way then," and everyone rolls initiative, and we'll continue next week.
Fuck.
And that'll be the session.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Am I?
You can
part of
roll
this?
now or later. You are outside. We can continue what you're doing for a little bit if you want and figure out what you're gonna do. But
Oh, I was just looking for the closest face that looked hungry, and I was gonna present the bread, and I was gonna head back in.
okay, then you've walked in on this.
Oh, okay.
You've walked in on the portal closing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you want us to do initiative now, or are you just gonna?
You
do
don't
it?
have to roll initiative now. Yeah, you don't have to worry about
Okay.
that. But right now you're looking at a man pointing his dagger at Ragnar, a wizard who has just closed this portal, and then a bunch of patrons around you have stood up and pulled their weapons. You're not quite sure whose side they're on.
The wizard is gone then, or he's
No, the
still-
wizard just closed it. He stepped out, closed the portal, and he's ready to fight with you guys.
Oh, so he is there.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
All right, boys. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Sorry it started late, but we're gonna have a lot to do next session.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Great.
All right. I must use the restroom. Good night, everybody.
Alright.
All right. Good night.
Night, guys.
Good night,
Mm.
those
Take
people.
the advice.
Yeah.
Goodbye then.
Oh my god. That's
Oh
pretty
man,
good.
is that my robe?